shall have no other gods before thee. Have no other gods before thee. We shall have no other gods before thee. Hi guys, it is Diamond and I am back with another study. Today we're going to look at Greek God worship and the Divine Nine. The Divine Nine is a bunch of Greek sororities, fraternities, and sororities in colleges, and it is a big thing in historically black universities. So we're just going to take a deep dive into these historically black fraternities and sororities, and we're gonna study the symbols on their crest and see what they represent and what exactly they mean, and understand the deities that are being worshipped. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. The gods of Greek mythology are fallen angels. They mated with humans and created demigods, giants, and fleshy demons. The Bible suggests that the mythology of ancient cultures, including Greek and Roman mythology, originated from the Nephilim. The Nephilim are fallen angels who committed gross sin by mating with earthly women to produce an unnatural, powerful offspring. Their offspring were mighty men of renown, meaning their strength and accomplishments were legendary. These fallen creations polluted the bloodline of humanity, threatening Yahweh's plan to produce a Messiah in the seed of men. Yahweh brought the flood to destroy all flesh, including the Nephilim. Meanwhile, the legends of these strange and powerful human-like deities have lived on in the mythology of ancient man. So it's really important for us to understand that all mythology is technically demonology. It is the classification of these fallen ones that fell on Mount Hermon. The book of Enoch, it speaks about 200 angels that fell from heaven with Lucifer. These angels were the leaders of the actual complete population of the heavenly inhabitants, because it wasn't just 200, it was millions of heavenly inhabitants that were in this rebellion with Lucifer. And Lucifer had leaders, he had commanders, and we need to understand that this is a battle for souls, and this is a good and bad war. It's a evil and good, and we need to pick a side. So I'm just here to bring some revelations with you all that have shown themselves to me. All right, moving forward. The Boule, which means advisor to the king, make up the wealthiest group of black men and women on the planet. The Boule is a pan-Hellenic council modeled after the Skulls and Bones secret society at Yale University. I believe that the Boule serves the satanic global elite and has a hidden agenda. W.E.B. Du Bois emphasized the importance to steal the black professional away from the Marcus Garvey movement, because an Afrocentric organization that captured the black professional wouldn't give Europeans a safe haven to mass sell and distribute in the black community. Black Wall Street was black people's first attempt, or not even black people, guys, Negro people's first attempt to gain independence and create our own schools, hospitals, and governments. It was burned to the ground. Our dependence on the elite is the only thing that powers their satanic machine called America. We all thought we knew secrets, but little did we know we only knew the worthlessness. In 1904, the first Black American Greek Society, the Boule, was formed in Philadelphia by Dr. Henry Minton and 5 of his colleagues. It was created to bring together a select group of educated black men and women, mirrored after Yale's Skull and Bones secret society. It was estimated that 70 to It is estimated that 70 to 75% of all black male lawyers and virtually every black mayor, congressman, banker, or millionaire in America are members of the Boule, and I will prove that today in this study. So, guys, the Boule seems to be more or less of an induction into secret societyship, which is a covenant that we should not hold. We can't serve both. So when you gain membership, essentially you pledge your life to the sorority and the works of the sorority. When the only thing you should be pleading your life to is Yahweh and Yeshua HaMashiach's blood that was spilled to atone for the covenants our forefathers broke and to give us salvation. That's the only pledging you should be doing. Now, as far as it pertains to education, that's kind of a Gnostic view of things. Gnostics believe that you gain divinity through knowledge, and that has some truth to it. But divinity is only for the one true God. The one true God who is Yahweh. We should not be trying to seek divinity, because then you start to mirror what the 200, the fallen that fell to Mount Hermon from heaven did. They wanted to take human women for themselves and produce their own offspring and be God-like. And that's pride. So many of us we're all guilty of it. But that's okay. We can make things right. As long as we try to gain knowledge and insight on this spiritual war that's going on. You do not want to just go about life blindly. You want to have some substance about your soul and about where you will spend eternity. It's not just about the material world. It ain't that easy. All right. So next we have the Skulls and Bones. Okay, the Skulls and Bones is a secret society for senior undergraduate students at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. Founded in 1832, Skulls and Bones is the oldest secret society at Yale and is considered to be the most prestigious. Many former members have gone on to occupy positions of power in American society, including 3 who became presidents of the United States. Skulls and Bones is also known as the Order of 322 or the Brotherhood of Death. These people love death, guys. First, we will take a look at the symbols in this sorority's crest. We have Alpha, Kappa, Alpha. So one of the first symbols in it is the handshake. We're going to dissect that. The second one, we have the genie bottle. And the third, we have Atlas. Let's get started. So symbol number 1 on the crest, and I have it labeled for you guys. I believe it'll be your top right-hand corner on the screen. We're going to start with number 1. A secret handshake is a distinct form of handshake or greeting which indicates membership to a club. The typical secret handshake involves placing one's fingers or thumbs in a particular position, one that will be recognized by fellow members while seeming to be a normal handshake to non-members. This is most frequently associated in the popular consciousness with college fraternities and fraternal orders. So here we already see these Greek societies are mimicking Freemasonry. And Freemasonry has very satanic origins. And to this day, they still practice very satanic rituals. So on the back of a dollar bill is an all-seeing eye in a pyramid. The eye above the pyramid is a Masonic symbol which has influenced American history from its beginnings. In Masonry, the pyramid symbol is known as a sign of the eye of Lucifer watching over humanity. The first ritual of initiation in Freemasonry is to become an entered apprentice. For example, this involves the applicant stripping down and removing any articles he may be wearing, like a wedding ring or crucifix. Then he's told to get half-dressed, wearing a shirt on his right side, one trouser leg pulled up, one slipper, and blindfolded. Then a noose is placed around his neck, and he's led into the lodge hall where he's announced as Mr. X, who has long been in darkness and now seeks to be brought to light. Family, I'm going to pause right there. Nobody can bring you to the light but Yahweh. no demon, no man, no inanimate object, no idol. They cannot bring you to the light. Only Yahweh can do that. Alright, the candidate is then told to embrace the principles of Freemasonry that the natural eye cannot perceive of the mysteries of the order until the heart has embraced the deep spiritual and mystic meanings of those sublime mysteries. For his part, the inspiring apprentice also affirms that he is in search of the light which only Masonry can give him. The rest of the ritual involves moments where the candidate is made to process through the hall blindfolded, sometimes at sword point, kneel, be prayed over, and eventually be admitted to the lodge. So I have a picture up here in the bottom left hand corner, and it is a symbol of the Masonic Lodge. It's hidden all in plain sight. You know, they put it all in plain sight, everything. The eye is right there for you to see. The eye is also on the dollar bill. It's in plain sight. So on Judgment Day, you cannot say you did not know or you did not understand. Family, people are out here risking their lives to get this information out to you guys. We need to take heed. Measure everything I say today. Measure everything anyone says to you. Any information anybody gives to you. This is the age of information. We have to adapt to the times, or we may lose our salvation because our lack of knowledge, our lack of knowing. And that is something that it's a very easy fix. So please open your hearts and just hear me out with what I'm presenting to you today. Let's keep moving forward, family. So the second symbol on this crest is the jinn, or it's a genie bottle, and that is what the jinn lives in, a genie bottle. Jinn are invisible creatures that live in a separate world from humans and have supernatural powers. They are capable of taking on human or animal form and are said to live in inanimate objects, underground, in the air, and in fire. Jinn are also said to have bodily needs like humans and can be killed but are free from physical restraints. Now, an experience that I was reading about, an experience someone had as it pertained to ancestral worship, I believe they call it. She was initiated into AKA, and they have rituals that they have to do before they initiate it. It's called pledging, and she mentioned that the spirits that would come to her, they would want offerings that were like cigarettes or wine, because apparently these things have needs like us humans who are flesh. So that was just interesting to know. It was kind of a scary revelation, but it's interesting to know. Good to know. So we know what we're fighting up against, because you know what? You cannot win a fight and not know your enemy. You cannot. So the third symbol on the crest is Atlas. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a Titan, one of the original gods of the Greek pantheon. He was condemned to hold up the sky throughout eternity for rebelling against Zeus, so to prevent him from leading another uprising. So Atlas, again, we have a example, blatant Greek god worship, blatantly. It is no reason that a supposedly Christian founded council society should be have anything other than Yeshua HaMashiach's image where Atlas is. It's no reason a Greek god should be there if this is truly a society for black advancement and truth and light. So I just want to put that out there. It is no reason that should be there. But that represents Atlas. I know we probably learned about, you may have remembered that in school. They teach us about that in the school books. It's a part of the indoctrination. Be aware if you have children. Take care of your children. Protect your babies. Teach them what is truth and what is false. Don't let them fall into false deity worship. If you get them young, a lot of what we as adults have went through can be prevented. And that's what we want to do for these upcoming generations. Alright, so here are some of the most famous black actors and civil rights activists in Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. They include Star Jones, Felicia Rashad, Toni Braxton, Jada Smith, Loretta Devine, Camille Harris, Yolanda Adams, Wanda Sykes, Alicia Keys, Rosa Parks, Viola Davis, Gladys Knight, Coretta Scott King, and Maya Angelou. So, I looked up to all of these women. But I can no longer look up to them because they idolize false gods. And I hate to be the one to say that. And I know that sounds radical. And I mean no harm. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to fight for my salvation. Alright, next we have Omega Psi Pi. Next, let's check out the symbol in this fraternity's crest. We have number 1, the knight. Number 2, the pentagram. The star represents the pentagram. That is common knowledge. You can look that up. And we have the genie bottle, number 3. And we're going to look into that a little further. So number 1 on there is the knight. Okay, the Knights Templar was established in 1119 AD. It was a Catholic medieval military order whose members were primarily knights. They combined martial prowess with a monastic life to defend Christian holy sites and pilgrims in the Middle East and elsewhere. The word knight from Old English meant boy or servant. It is a cognate of the German word Knecht, which means servant, bondsman, or vassal. Here we start to understand that a knight is not as noble as we were taught in history class. The pentagram, which is a symbol that represents Baphomet, is used in witchcraft to summon demonic spirits and consecrate satanic rituals. And this is symbol number 2 on the crest, guys. I have it posted right in the right-hand corner of the screen for you guys. The pentagram symbol originates from the Gnostics and the Knights Templar to pay homage to their true god, Lucifer. Lucifer is generally depicted as a goat or Pan, a half-goat, half-man creature who's the Greek god of fertility and sex. The third symbol on the crest is the jinn. Jinn or genies are invisible creatures in early religion and Roman culture and beliefs. Like humans, they are accountable for their deeds and can be either believers or disbelievers, depending on whether they accept God's guidance. So, guys, the history of jinn and the origins of jinn, this is a clear example that God created a lot of different types of beings. Creation did not just stop with us. It didn't start with us either. You know, that's in Genesis. It says that in Genesis 1 that he made man and he told them to go be fruitful and multiply. And then in Genesis 3, Adam was created. So we have to recognize who was man before that, before Adam. You have to read your Bible. Your Bible is everything. It lays it out on the table. I do not say Jesus. I say Yeshua HaMashiach. I do not say Holy Father God or anything like that. I just say Father or Yahweh. We have to understand that words in the English language, which comes from overseas from a royal family, it's curses. You're uttering curses. And you have to be aware it's the only way you can break out of this prison that they call society. Okay? So some of your most famous black actors and civil rights activists in Omega Psi Pi are Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby, Steve Harvey, Shaquille O'Neal, Tom Joyner, Jesse Jackson, Langston Hughes, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Louis Farrakhan. So again, our most famous leaders and black actors, we find them they supposed to have Christian backgrounds, which Christian is a word that is a connotation of the word Cretan, which comes from ancient Crete. And Cretan means you're an idiot, and we are not idiots. Followers of Yahweh are not idiots. So don't call yourself a Christian. Stop saying that. The church. Stop saying these are Greek terms. We are the body. We are a living, functioning relationship. And we need to address it accordingly. We need to address Yahweh accordingly. We need to address Yeshua accordingly. We have to stop with these false names. These are curses we are uttering. All right, guys. So we're going to go on to the next fraternity. I'm sorry, this is a sorority, I believe. We have Sigma Gamma Rho. Let's take a look at the symbols in this, Chris. The first one I want to dissect is the genie bottle. The second one is the caduceus. The third is the symbol of the skull and bones, which you guys are probably most familiar with it with pirates or Vikings. But the skulls and bones has very dark origins, and I mean it's kind of obvious it's skulls and bones. So the first symbol on the crest we're going to talk about is the jinn again. This is a recurring theme. And this is the thing. A jinn is a disembodied spirit. Nothing worthy of worship. Nothing worthy of paying tribute to. We have dominion as humans over jinn. So it's no way that we should be worshiping lesser deities. It's no way. We have to do our research and dig into the history of these spirits and these beings, because majority of them are not good, and they are just functions of Lucifer. So the jinn in Greek mythology is pronounced daemon or demon, which means God, godlike, or power. I rebuke God, godlike, or power in the name of Yeshua. Jinn are originally referred to as a lesser deity or guiding spirit of ancient Greek mythology and Hellenistic religion and philosophy. The second symbol on the crest is the caduceus. The term caduceus comes from a Greek word that means herald's wand, and it refers to the staff carried by the ancient Greek god Hermes. The caduceus has ancient and consistent associations with trade, liars, thieves, and alchemy. In Greek mythology, statues of Asclepius, god of medicine, with the caduceus, and his daughter Hygeia, god of health, hence the word hygiene, are scattered throughout Greece and Rome. Every word that we use in biblical and literal texts are based off Greek and Roman words. The Latin is before the Roman. So all of these, it's a combination. It's a type of confusion to throw you off. But the definitions of these words and the meaning of the words are what truly matter. So you might, like I said, hygiene. That comes from the daughter of Caduceus, who was the god of health. Hence the word hygiene. And it goes so deep. It's the greatest cover up in human history, honestly. Let's keep it moving because I'll go all off into the deep end. Alright, guys, so we have the third symbol on the crest, which is the skull and bones symbol. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So Skulls and Bones is a secret society for senior and undergraduate students at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, founded in 1832. The presence of this symbol on this sorority's crest is a blatant salutation to the Satanic Order of the Skulls and Bones secret society. Next, we have some of your famous black actors and civil rights activists in Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. They include MC Lyte, Kelly Price, Hattie McDaniel, Sandra Bland, And Sandra Bland, she actually passed away in police custody after being arrested. She was said to have passed on. Her eyes were open and she was bruised up like she had been beaten up. But police custody said that she stopped breathing while she was in holding. So that's who Sandra Bland was. But she was also a part of the secret society of the Greeks. So I just want to throw that in there. You have Anna Maria Horsford. If you know the movie Friday, okay, with Craig and Day Day, you know who the mom is on there. Her name is Anna Marie Horsford. You have Ella English, who is the auntie on the Jamie Foxx show. And then you have Camille Wimbush. All of these women, very important figures in black culture and history, are dedicated to this Greek sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's dissect the symbols in this crest. We have Kappa, Alpha, Psi. So first one I want to look at is the handshake, and the second one is going to be the star, the pentagram. So first we have the handshake. Freemasons use a variety of handshakes or grips to greet each other, with each handshake based on a member's rank within the organization. There are handshakes for each degree, including apprentice, fellow craft, and master, as well as in the higher degrees. Each rite also has its own handshakes. So here, guys, you see a few of the Masonic handshakes or grips. These people, they have to put it in plain sight because, like I mentioned, on Judgment Day, it won't be a you didn't know or you were not aware. It does not work like that. Accountability has to be taken. So they put it in plain sight, and you need to do your due diligence by studying the enemy and recognizing who you're dealing with. A person doesn't even have to say anything to you if you know your word, because you'll be able to read them. Now that's the true definition, not this new ageism. I'm gonna read you your energy and all. I know. I'm talking about the word. When you are in your word, you are able to read a person before they even open their mouth, and that's real. But these people put it in plain sight, and these are some of the handshakes. We'll go through the first four. The first one we have is grip of an entered apprentice. You know, like when we thumb wrestle and all that stuff. All these have origins. All these these different rituals throughout us growing up and our childhood. They all come from something, guys. All right, number two, we have the real grip of a master mason. They call it the lion's paw. Third, we have apprentice to the past grip of a fellow craft member. Fourthly, we have past grip of a marked master mason. Y'all, this is intricate stuff. These people thought about this thoroughly, and they had nothing but time, right? Nothing but time. All right. Number two on their crest is the pentagram. The pentagram are five-pointed stars, often associated to pagan religions, and witchcraft. It is often depicted within a circle called a pentacle, and it is used to summon demonic spirits and can also be used for hexing, granting influxes of wealth, or blood sacrifices. Now, everybody is super familiar with the pentagram. The pentagram is used for summoning demons. It is used for conjuring them up, supposedly sending them back, but only a true apostolic mind with clean hands can send any demon back. I don't know what these Wiccas were thinking when it came to that. You can't conjure something up that's evil by means of evil and think that you can send it back. No, it's a give and take. It's the opposite. It's a yin and yang. But we'll move forward. I'm going to get up off there. Some of your famous black actors and civil rights activists in Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity are Johnny Cochran, Cedric the Entertainer, Marvin Sapp, Colin Kaepernick, and Lance Gross. So, I mean, we have some very important figures in the black community that are dedicating their lives to Greek life. You know, putting it above the body and above what they're supposed to be here to do. And they target these are also all American black Negro celebrities. These are not from overseas. This is right here in our country. All right? So that alone should prove to you that there is a conspiracy here. How is it just so happened that 90% of every black actor, politician, civil rights activist is in a Greek sorority? We have to examine that, and we cannot overlook that. I'm tired of the mess. Alright guys, now we'll look at the symbols in the crest of Phi Beta Sigma. So for number 1, we have the handshake, and number 2, we have the X. I'm sorry, we'll go right to the handshake. We can collaborate on it. I'll collaborate on it. I like to talk anyway, guys. But again, we have the handshake. It is a consistent theme in all of the crests of these sororities. It is a tribute to the secrecy of secret societies. There should be no secret about your love for the Lord. There should be no secret about your love for your false deity. Be who you are and be open. But no, these cowards hide behind secret societies. And no, I am not talking about our Greek members, our black members, or white. I'm not talking about it like that. I'm talking about spiritual. I'm talking about your spiritual ID. I'm not talking about your national ID. Because we're all brothers and sisters.
Right. Facts.
We're all brothers and sisters in the body. I am talking about the secrecy, the withholding of your ambition from the Lord. That's what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to get too far into it because I get passionate and I get crazy. But it's not me getting crazy. It's just having passion and love for my people. I want us to wake up. I want my people to come up out because we have brothers in Ireland, Scotland, all over the world. I'm learning from a great bishop. He is amazing. We have brothers and sisters in Scotland, in Ireland, in Wall Street, in the stock exchange, everywhere. And it is an organization that does not have to be hidden. My organization of Yahweh. Alright, second on the crest we have the axe. And the only reason I didn't make the star a third one because we had a couple slides on the pentagram. We all know who it pays homage to and how it refers to the stars. But do you guys see that there is an erect penis on here, right? Okay, let's get into it. Okay, Hephaestus was the ancient Greek god of fire, metal, and crafts. His symbol is an axe. He was the blacksmith of the Olympian gods. This picture is a popular depiction in Greek art, and it depicts Dionysius, aka Liber, more information on him in the next slide, with an erect penis, under the influence of wine, following Hephaestus, who is mounted on a horse who also has an erect penis. Dionysius was the Greek god of fertility, wine, and pleasure. The Romans called him Baccha. Tubal-Cain was first mentioned in Genesis chapter 4, verse 22. In Freemasonry, he is symbolized as an axe, and he is considered to be a forefather in Freemasonry. Also, I want to mention that Baku is also what we call Mardi Gras here in Louisiana. We call it Bacchus. It's a celebration to Greek gods and the Greek gods of the Pantheon. Now, that is a big deal down here in Louisiana, guys. And I'm having to break free and reteach myself and my child everything that I thought was right. And it is hard. It is hard on us right now. But we're going to endure. We're going to go through with this so we can bring our brothers and sisters into this truth and light. But I want you guys, I know this is the middle of the video, but please pray for us. Pray for my family. And I will be praying for all my viewers and my brothers and sisters always. But this is not an easy fight here. The uncovering of this cryptic knowledge. but I'm willing to share it with my brothers and sisters at no cost. So please, guys, make sure you like and subscribe as well. I always forget to say that. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Okay, guys, so we talked about Dionysius, aka Liber, and him following that horse that Hephaestus was riding on. And that story actually is pertaining to Hephaestus trapping Hera in invisible chains on her throne because she made fun of him for having a lame foot. This is the god Hephaestus that we're talking about. And that's the story behind him, and why Dionysius was following him back was in order to unlock these chains that only him and Dionysius could unlock. So that's the story behind that picture. They were headed to go and unchain Hera from the throne. So next we have Liberalia, a Roman festival on March 17th for the god Liber and his consort Libera. Liber Pater was an ancient god of fertility and wine on this day. Boys of 15 to 16 removed the bulla and became men. I believe that means circumcised. In the countryside, processions involved a large phallus to bless the land. So here we see there is a festival. This is just March 17, 2020. Dedicated to this Greek god. People are still worshiping these deities, giving them strength, giving them power, giving them dominion. So it is not far-fetched to believe that all of our famous entertainers, politicians, and civil rights activists all come from a secret order. That should not be far-fetched as far as we've gotten in this study. It's revealed itself several times over. So let's be aware going into these next slides with that information. So here's a temple erected to Dionysius, aka Liber, 2,300 years ago. Okay, guys, this was 2,300 years ago. And I really don't like putting timestamps and specifics on artifacts in antiquity, because the chronology of history, the Scaligean chronology of history, is actually all wrong and behind by, at bare minimum, 297 years because of the ruler. Let me look at my notes. We have... Yeah, okay. So we have the Holy Roman Emperor Otto, Pope Sylvester, and Constantine. They decided that they wanted Emperor Otto's throne to go into the year 1000. Now, Emperor Otto was born in 900 AD, and he died in 1002 AD. So he was only 22 years old. Okay, so in 1996, he took the throne, and it is believed that it was known he would not be alive very long. Now, these are demonic prophets we're talking about, oracles we're talking about, that use means of blood sacrifice and ritualistic killing to get their prophecies. So these people wanted his throne to go into the year 1000, and subsequently he died in 1002. So they changed the time period. He being born in 996, they took it back by 296 years. They moved the time stamp back 296 years. Okay? So if we go by what this Roman emperor called Otto the Third did, we would technically be in year 1729 current era CE. Now, that's another story for another day, and I am working on a great study about that, guys, but it's going to take time and prayer. Okay, let's keep it moving. A closer look at the statue from the front angle, guys. We have a demonic penis chicken figure. You would be creeped out if you saw a chicken with a head like that. Okay? You would not know what to do. You would be scared out of your pants. I know I would. This is what these ancient Greek and Romans were worshiping. This is who they were worshiping. It is sick. It's sick. And they were sacrificing children to appease these deities, giving them whatever strength they believed they had. I believe that they say over the waters and storms and rain. I mean, it is insane. It's almost like the people brought their own demise, worshiping all these different deities. It's not enough spiritual energy to go around for all that chaos, Nothing could ever fill that void. Let's keep it moving. So here are some of your most famous black celebrities and civil rights activists that are in Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. They include Morris Chestnut, Al Sharpton, Bill Clinton. Yes, guys, Bill Clinton. Look it up. It is all there. I told you, measure everything I say. Next we have Morgan Freeman, Huey Newton, which is the Black Panther Party's leader, Blair Underwood, Terrence Howard, and Representative John Lewis. Also, George Washington Carver and Al Roker. And I'm sure it's some other names you guys see up there that I don't quite know. But guys, it is a conspiracy here. Wake up today. Alright, next we have Zeta Phi Beta. We're going to take a look at the symbols in this crest. Number 1 is going to be the pentagram, and number 2 will be the torch. And I want to add in number 3, guys. Those rays represents the sun of Virginia. Okay, Vergina, and it is another goddess in mythology that we're going to talk about. It's a little further into the study, but keep that in mind. Those sun rays, that is a third symbol that I failed to add into the program, but I just want to put it out there. That is the rays from the star of Virginia. Okay. So first we have the pentagram, which is reverence to Baphomet. It is a symbol with origins of the Gnostics and the Knights Templars. Baphomet is commonly referred to as a deity or a demon. The foundations these fraternal orders are built on blatantly pay homage to Satan and his fallen angels. So the second symbol on this crest would be the torch. Torches symbolize meanings according to the Greek god that holds them. The occult uses the torch to represent enlightenment in the darkness of their endeavors. The torch is also a tribute to Lucifer, which means light bearer. It is used in the Olympics, which originates from paganistic religion in ancient Grecian culture. Months before the Olympic Games begin, a flame is lit in a special ceremony in Olympia, Greece. A prayer is then said in modern Greek just before the flame is lit. Now, I did not even know that until I started this study, researching for the study. I did not know that, and I did dig up the ancient Greek prayer, and we're going to go ahead and go over that. So it starts as, sacred silence, let the sky, the earth, the sea, and the wind sound. Mountains fall silent. Sounds and birds warble cease. For Phoebus, the light-bearer king, shall keep us company. Apollo, god of the sun and the idea of light, send your rays and light the sacred torch. And you, Zeus, give peace to all peoples on earth, and wrath the winners of the sacred race. Greek sorority members. Greek sorority members. If you believe that these societies are more important than our precious, precious Father in heaven, this is not a video for you. Because I don't want to upset you. I don't want to upset anybody. If you feel where I'm coming from, where as far as we've gotten in this study, this is for you. If you don't feel where I'm coming from, this video is not for you. It's not for you. Okay, guys, we're going to keep it moving. Here are some of your famous black actors and civil rights activists in Zeta Phi Beta sorority. They include Janice Du Bois, Tawanda Braxton, Esther Rolle. Esther Rolle is the mom off of Good Times. Cheryl Underwood, Dionne Warwick, Vivica Fox, Zora Neale Hurston, Shaka Khan, Chrisette Michele. She made a hit with Rick Ross. That's Chrisette Michele. Man. And Minnie Riperton.
And so these are some passed away is in hell.
Very famous. I mean, guys, at this point, it seems like every last celebrity is in on this. The secret organization, Pan-Hellenic Council Society, whatever, Boule. It's all just backbending mess, honestly. Alright, guys. Next, we have the symbols in this crest, which is Delta Sigma Theta. So I wanted to take a look at the cane, and we're going to take a look at the torch, okay? Tubal-Cain is a descendant of Cain, and Cain is the brother of Abel. Cain was the child of the serpent and was conceived when Eve had sex with the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Tubal-Cain was first mentioned in Genesis chapter 4, verse 22. He was the first blacksmith and is worshipped in Freemasonry as a forefather of all master craftsmen. In the final initiation ritual, in order to complete the third degree in Freemasonry, a Mason apprentice must learn to use the working tools of the craft to fulfill the plans of the divine artist. He can only achieve the rank of Grand Master Mason, living his life fully in the light of Freemasonry rather than the light of Yahweh. The apprentice must master the moral and philosophical lessons taught in the lodge by very powerful paganists and Satanists that are walking in the footsteps of Tubal-Cain. These elite Satanists would rather deify demons rather than walk in the light of truth of Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, guys, I'm going to go back because I wanted you guys to take a look at that woman on the top of this crest. So that woman on the top, she looks like what we would call a Quaker or a Puritan. And as we know, the Puritans, they have origins from Salem, Massachusetts, the Salem witch trials. Now, I'm not sure if these women that are part of this sorority are aware of who the Puritans and the Quakers are. And also, Quakers are a reference to a famous brand of oatmeal and grits, because the symbols are they're always in front of us in our face. They never hide it. It's always hidden in plain sight. Always. But this is tribute to the Puritans. I wanted to go back on that, but I did not add the slide. But please, guys, look up the history of the Puritans and the Quakers, and look up the accusations of satanic behaviors that shaped their religion and their culture. In the Salem witch trials, in the Salem witch trials, and I forgot, what is that literature with the girls and they're Puritans, and they're accused of witchcraft. And let's see, I'm gonna look it up really quick. Book about Puritans. Accused of. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm going to look it up later, guys. We're going to keep moving forward, but I'm going to look up that later. I forgot. It was called not the Constable. Yeah, all right. We're going to keep it moving. All right, here is an example of members of Beta Kappa chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, Inc., performing in 1986 during the 66th Grand Chapter. And here it is a regular thing with their step to use canes and to pay tribute to Tubal-Cain, who is one of the forefathers of Freemasonry. Alright, so here we have an example. I wanted to show you initiation rite done by these fraternities. This is a sorority, the Alpha Kappa Alpha, their initiation. I want you guys to notice when we watch the video, I listed some of the behaviors so you can follow along with it, but I'm going to go through them really quick. So you're going to notice cult-like behavior. You're going to notice the staff cane or caduceus. The caduceus has ancient and consistent associations with trade, liars, thieves, negotiation, and alchemy. The hidden eyes are an attribute taken from Freemasonry, indicating being in the dark and finding the light and serving your secret society rather than letting your love for Yahweh be your lightness in the dark. Next, we have the same outfit, which represents many bodies to create one body or deity. We have chanting and squeaking, which is very disturbing behavior. You guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about in just a minute. The intertwined arms, which is homage to secret societies. Remember I told you about the handshakes and the different classifications of handshakes and classifications of rank with it. This is littered throughout Greek sorority culture. And it is a tribute to Freemasonry, Freemasons who worship the Grand Order. The Grand Order is Lucifer, the light bearer. So they keep paying homage to these sick societies that are against the agenda of salvation. Next we have satanic backbending. You're going to see some crazy backbending in here. And lastly, we have the gloves, which embody power and protection as well as nobility. However, gloves can also be mysterious, often worn by thieves, witches, and night riders. Honor is represented when the right glove is removed. Alright guys, we're going to play this video and let's take a look. Alright family, and I found that witch trial is the Crucible. It was the Crucible. So take a look at that, and that will give you a little bit of history on the Puritans and the outcasting of the Quakers from their society. Take a look at it. Very good, very good. We studied it actually, I want to say in 11th and 12th grade. It's kind of like a part of your senior project. We did that in Paradise Lost. So just take a look at the preface of the Crucible, and it gives you a history, a brief history that is so interesting. Ooh, I enjoyed it. Alright y'all, let's keep it moving. So the second symbol we have is the torch. Torches are used in satanic rituals to pay homage to Lucifer, the one they call the light bearer. The sculptor behind the Statue of Liberty, Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, was born in 1834 in Colmar, France. The structural framework for the Statue of Liberty was provided by fellow Freemason and French civil engineer Gustave Eiffel, who would later become famous for designing the Eiffel Tower. When the cornerstone for the Statue of Liberty was laid, elements of a traditional Masonic ceremony were observed. A Grand Master provided a few words, and the Grand Master applied the mortar and had the stone lowered into place. He then struck the stone 3 times and declared it duly laid. Then the elements of consecration were presented, which were corn, wine, and oil. This was all a ritual in itself. So I have I have a picture of the cornerstone that is at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. Now, guys, you gotta look this stuff up for yourself. It is all in plain sight. I mean, clear as day. I could not believe it. I was shooketh when I realized that this is what is at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. This world is ruled by secret societies, by orders. It is not a government. That is a front of who this country is really ran by, which are orders in secret societies. So here are some of your famous black celebrities in Delta Sigma Theta sorority. They include, and these are celebrities and civil rights activists. They include Cicely Tyson, Shirley Chisholm, Keisha Knight Pullman, Keisha Lance Bottom. I believe she was the governor.
Cheryl Parker,
Angela Bassett, Aretha Franklin, Lena Horne, Kim Whitley, Cheryl Lee Rath, and Betty Shabazz. So these are some of your famous black celebrities in Delta Sigma Theta. It is just, it's all a lie. I can't believe they've done this. They sold us out. I can't believe it. And we're going to get into that. I know this is radical, guys, but it's got to be put out there for you to decide for yourself. All right, next we're going to take a look at the symbols in this crest. First, we have the cross. Second, we have the centaur. And third, we have the pentagram. Now, first, we have the cross. In Greek mythology, the cross is represented by the Greek word stauros, which means stake or implement of capital punishment. In the Greek New Testament, stauros is used to describe the instrument used for, quote unquote, Jesus' crucifixion. I say Yeshua. And it is usually translated as cross in religious texts. Guys, the cross, it is a perversion. Do not use that as a symbol of our Lord and Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach. It is a blatant slap in the face. We do not worship where our Messiah perished. We will not worship that.
Blasphemy.
We worship the Father. All right, secondly, we have the centaur on the crest. The first centaur in Greek mythology was Chiron. The Titan god Chiron was unfaithful to his sister wife Rhea with a nymph called Philyra. Rhea found them in the act, and to escape, Chiron transformed into a horse, and as he ejaculated, he impregnated Philyra. It's also interesting that the Chiron, which is a brand of Bugatti, is one of the fastest production cars in the world. What makes a car go fast? That would be horsepower. Do y'all see the relation here? Chiron was the first centaur in Greek mythology that transformed himself into a horse as he ejaculated. And what makes a car go fast? Horsepower. The name Philyra is also the name of a car oil mogul that sells lubricant for high performance cars. Now, guys, you can look up both of these. Chiron and Philyra. They're both companies. These people know, the people that rule this world, they know what they're doing when they make these names in these corporations. And hence the word corporation.
Yep.
Hence the word corpse. It's a system made for the dead, for the fallen. And we have got to wake up. All right, our third symbol would be the star, which is a representation of Baphomet. Baphomet is a symbol of balance in various occult and mystical traditions, the origin of which some occultists have attempted to link with the Gnostics and the Knights Templar, commonly known to be a deity or a demon. So here are some of your famous black entertainers that are part of Iota Phi Theta fraternity. And I mean no disrespect to my Latino brothers and sisters when I say black. I just look at you all as my brothers and sisters. So I apologize if I offend anyone. We have children's celebrity book and author Spencer Christian, actor Jason Manuel Alazabal, and stage voice and television actor Terrence C. Carson. You're probably most familiar with him off of Living Single. Yes. All right, next, finally, we'll take a look at the symbols in this crest. This is Alpha Phi Alpha, okay? So in their crest, they have the torch we're going to take a look at. And second, we have the knight. And then third, we have the Sphinx. The first symbol on the crest is the torch. The torch in satanic rituals is a representation of the light and dark endeavors. This representation is also similar to what the serpent told Eve in the Garden of Eden. The serpent said that if Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, that she would surely not die, but would instead gain wisdom. The second symbol in the crest is the knight. The Knights Templar stole land from people in the name of Christianity. Remember, I told y'all about that Christianity word. Be very careful with that word.
The Knights
and
Templar.
They started multiple wars and crusades. Accusations against the Knights Templar and their order had grown to a total of 127 incidents. They were accused of worshiping cats, condoning theft, and perjury to enrich the order, as well as kissing each other's navels during secret initiation ceremonies. That is sick. Philip IV of France in March 1312 announced his decision to abolish the order based on confessions and other evidence. So guys, here we see the knight isn't so knightly. He's actually quite feminine. We need to be aware of who we're worshiping and what we're putting our energy and influence into. Because you're feeding demonic deities. You're feeding societies and historically satanic governments. Okay? The Romans. Hence the Romans. Yes, I said it. The Romans. The third symbol on the crest is the Sphinx. I said Sphinx. Is the Sphinx. The Sphinx was a monster with the body of a lion, the head and breast of a woman, eagle's wings, and a serpent's tail.
That's what LeBron James got tatted on his chest.
This also resembles the Baphomet symbol, which has breasts and an erect penis in the form of a caduceus, also known as a staff. I told you guys, these people put it in plain sight. They have no shame. These are some of your famous black leaders and actors in Alpha Phi Alpha. They include W.E.B. Du Bois, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., Edward Brooke, Martin Luther King Jr., Thurgood Marshall, Andrew Young, William Gray, Paul Robeson, and Dick Gregory.
Oh, man.
They've lied to us about everything, guys.
Damn.
These men belong not to Yahweh.
Damn.
They belong to Greek deities.
That's crazy.
All right. Next, we have the famous 16-pointed star. It is
Everything
called
taught to us was a lie.
Regina Sun. It is a Macedonian star and is a symbol first appearing in ancient Greek art about 2,500 years ago. The ancient Macedonians worshipped the 12 Olympians, especially Zeus, Artemis, Heracles, and Dionysius. Evidence of this worship exists from the beginning of the 4th century BC, or 25,000 years ago. Early representations of the symbol go back to at least the 16th century BC, with hoplites depicted as bearing 16-pointed and 8-pointed sunburst symbols on their shields and armors. And the same symbols being represented on coins from both island and mainland Greece from at least the 5th century BC. This is 5,000 years ago. The Iliad describes the first Penelope of Achilles as having star motifs. During excavations in Vergina, the site of the ancient Macedonian capital of Age, the archaeologist Manolis Andronikos, sounds like a descendant of Nikolai Tesla, found the symbol on the coffin, golden larynx, believed to belong to Philip II of Macedon, father of Alexander the Great. The sunburst symbol was already well known as a symbol used both by the Macedonian royal dynasty as well as being present in the Hellenistic civilization more generally. Guys, remember, the Pan-Hellenistic Council is based off the Hellenistic civilization. Hellenistic civilization worship Greek gods and deities. We all know that Greek gods and deities are fallen angels or demons being identified. These are not people's imagination. These were actual beings that came to corrupt the bloodline of man because of their pride, because of their being exiled from the heavens and never be able to come back. And judgment, the complete judgment has not been placed upon it. So these deities and these demons are angry with us because we did nothing. They took wives of us. We didn't take husbands and wives of them. And I do believe there are male and female fallen angel. Now, that is something I do need to study more. But I see a lot of instances in my research and with history of there being female fallen ones. And some references to them are sirens. But that is another teaching for another day. Alright, so the symbol might represent the sun god Helios. Remember, Helios in my last video is who the Roman Catholic made an image of Christ after. Christ was not based on the Black Madonna, which predates all of Helios's worship. Okay, the Black Madonna, yes, it was created in the 1300s, but it was a depiction of when Christ was here. In the early 1980s, following the discovery of the larynx, there was some debate as to whether the symbol should be considered the royal emblem of the Argives specifically. As Eugene Borzan in 1982 pointed out, the symbol was widely used in Hellenistic era art, and Adams 1983 emphasized its use as a decorative element in ancient Greek art in general, and it cannot be said to represent either royal or a national emblem of Macedon exclusively. So here is the symbol of the National Pan-Hellenic Council, which is who created the Boule. We saw that earlier in the study. They blatantly are paying tribute to these ancient Greek sun gods and ancient Roman Greco sun gods. Okay, they're telling us who they worship, guys. It's all right here for you to see. Next, we have the logo for the Central Intelligence Agency. And as you can see, it is a blatant tribute to the Star of Vergina. The Pan-Hellenic Council and its affairs with the black community are just another observation tool of the elite. Now, I'm going to get into that last sentence about Pan, but I want you guys to really see this. This is the logo for the Central Intelligence Agency. This is the logo for the National Pan-Hellenic Council. They are blatantly telling you that this council is a piece of the government's observation tool. It is right there for you to see. This star is a blatant tribute to the sun gods of ancient Greek mythology. In the CIA symbol, the National Pan-Hellenic Council symbol is a piece of the Central Intelligence Agency's star, their star logo, to show you that that the Pan-Hellenistic Council is a piece of their observation. It's a tool of observation, a piece of the system. A system is many mechanisms that come together as one to create it. All right. Now, Pan in Greek mythology is a fertility deity in bestial form. He was associated by the Romans with Faunus. This image depicts the Greek god Pan, who is defiling a goat because of its lustful urges. This statue of Pan was made in 1st century BC, which was about 2,000 or so years ago. This book, written by author Gianni Cercucci, explains practice of pedophilia among the elites in Hollywood and worldwide business, dubbing their systems as pedocracy. The book's title background is a demon devouring a child in front of the star of Virginia. I just wanted to put that in there. Guys, my spirit right now after learning of all of this treachery in history. Lord, have mercy.
Look at that beast.
All right. Let me get a sip of juice. All right. Laura Celestial Sadie Spellman Rockefeller, born September 9, 1839, died March 12, 1915, was an American abolitionist, philanthropist, school teacher, and prominent member of the Rockefeller family. Her husband was Standard Oil co-founder John D. Rockefeller. Laura Spellman Rockefeller is the namesake of the famous HBCU Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
She financed this historically black college from the ground up, which is a reminder that the European elite have been controlling black affairs since the expulsion of Cain in Genesis.
Facts.
Most black organizations are funded by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They fund us as a means to micromanage us. Who started the civil rights movement? Some 60 people, seven of whom were African American, including W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells Barnett, and Mary Church Terrell, signed the call, which was released on the centennial of Lincoln's birthday on February 12, 1909. The nation's largest and most widely recognized civil rights organization was born. Now, mind you, they did all of this in February, okay? They want to dedicate a whole month to the civil rights movement, and it just so happens to be the shortest month of the year. What a slap in the face. But the civil rights movement was created by 60-something people, and that means then that less than 10%, if there had been only 7 African Americans, less than 11% were actually black. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Now, I'm going to get up off this because I know this is a touchy situation. And I don't want to disrespect or hurt anyone in the process. But guys, be aware. Look up your history. Alright. So here are some of your famous political activists that are in the Boule. And it's practically all of your black civil rights activists and leaders and politicians. So we have Shirley Chisholm. She is a U.S. representative, and she is in the sorority Delta Sigma Theta. We have our Miss Coretta Scott King. We all know the wife of Dr. Martin Luther King. She was also a civil rights activist and leader. She was a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha, aka Rosa Parks, a civil rights activist. She fought hard for us, for our people. I'm so sorry I actually did not have that picture up for you guys. I misedited that, but no worries. I'm only human, right? All right, next we have Fannie Lou Hamer. She was a famous civil rights activist, and she was Delta Sigma Theta. We have Ella Baker. She was a civil rights activist. She's in Delta Sigma Theta. Ida B. Wells, one of the creators of the civil rights movement, one of the 7 creators out of 60 of the civil rights movement. She was Delta Sigma Theta. Dorothy Vaughan, who was the mathematician behind the movie Hidden Figures. She was Alpha Kappa Alpha. One of the 3rd stars of the movie Hidden Figures was Mary Jackson. She was a NASA mathematician. She was a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Catherine Goebel, one of the 3rd mathematicians on Hidden Figures, was Alpha Kappa Alpha. Now, the point of me exposing this satanic and demonic mantle that society has placed these sororities on is to show you that the truth is stranger than fiction. Everything we've been taught, all the people we've ever looked to that are of color, have been coerced into what they are doing for society. It wasn't natural. It was unnatural, is what I'm saying.
Everything that was taught to us was a lie.
These secret sororities are gateways to filter out who is for the agenda and put them on a pedestal to mislead the rest.
Damn.
I'm going to get up off that. Let's keep going. So next we have some of your famous black males that are in Greek sororities, that are in positions of powers. We have civil rights activists, court justices, as well as founding members of organizations. So Clarence Thomas, which is a Supreme Court Justice, he is Alpha Sigma Nu. Roy Wilkins, head of the NAACP, is Omega Psi Phi. Excuse me. Whitney Young, founder of the National Urban League, is Alpha Phi Alpha. John Lewis, congressman, is Phi Beta Sigma. Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights leader, is Alpha Phi Alpha. Thurgood Marshall, which is Supreme Court Justice, is Alpha Phi Alpha. Malcolm X, principal spokesperson for the Nation of Islam, is Omega Psi Phi. Huey Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party, is Phi Beta Sigma.
Damn.
Bobby Seale, co-founder of the Black Panther Party, is Phi Beta Sigma. So here you have proof that history has been coerced. Black history was coerced.
Damn.
I want to thank you all, my brothers and sisters, for taking time to watch this. I love you all, and you will all be in my prayers.